Welcome to Below the Belt. Who vex lose? Who vex? Y'all know how we say it here. Guyanese brown sugar, we see you there. Good to see you. Guyanese brown sugar is the first to come below the belt. We know some of y'all don't play fair. Y'all happy to come below the belt. But yours truly, Shara Duncan. Good to see so many of you. Today we're discussing a welfare state. Government by hampers. That's the PPP. That is what we have become, folks. And we should have joining us in very short order the one and only Director Finance, the Member of Parliament, and the entrepreneur and influencer Odessa Primus should be joining us as well. And we are looking forward to having both of them join us in the ring. As we said, folks, in very short order, we should have these folks with us. And so we are advising you guys to stay tuned, stay locked in as we begin our 13th podcast. We out here, people, we out here. Claudette Clark, William Kosher, we out here. It's a welfare state, government by hampers. We out here, people, and we are so privileged that you guys could be joining us as well. We out here. Good to see you, folks. Folks, the weather where we are is 29 degrees. There have been sporadic showers during the course of the morning. According to weather.com, it's partly cloudy. Yep. And they're telling us that there's a 35% chance of rain until yep, until 12. Until 12 a.m. There's a 35% chance of rain. 35% chance of rain. And as I've been telling you guys, we're going to have two fantastic young women joining us. Two fantastic young women. Dorita Finance, who is the Shadow Minister for Finance, a member of Parliament, the Honorable. And we're going to have, again, the entrepreneur and influencer, Odessa Primus, joining us. I love this photograph that we have up of Odessa and Dorita. Both of them on fleck, on point. On point. These are the kind of folks that we deal with. Good to have them. Really good to see them out here with me, and good to have all of you guys with us. Folks like Alison Pearson is with us. Roy Porter, Oren Barker is here as well. I see Lexi Boss is here. Andrew Cosbert is here as well, along with Grace James. I see our pal Agri Dillon Marsh. I never met a proper Dillon. I've never met a proper Dillon in my life. But I hope Agra is going to change that. Leslyn Blair Brooms is with us as well. Folks, we are so privileged day after day, lunch after lunch, midday after midday, to have you guys below the belt with us. It's our 13th podcast, 13th podcast. And we're so privileged. We are so privileged to have you guys with us. So very privileged to have you guys with us every day. Jennifer Argyle, I see you there. Good afternoon to you too, Jennifer. Good afternoon to you too, Siobhan McDonald and Stephanie Pearson. Good afternoon to you, Viola Steed Innes and Shelley Cadogan. Good afternoon to you. We couldn't do it without you guys. Could not do it without you guys. We are so very pleased that so many of you here with us. We are so pleased to have you on with us, guys. June Gilbert, we see you there. Guys, show us those emojis. We want to see what are the emotions of you guys in the Facebook community, in the social media community, in the Twitter community, in the what do you call it? The YouTube, the suburbs, the community of the suburbs. We want to see those emojis, guys. Michaela Webster, you come out, girl. You out here. GT Root Girl, if it's not you. GT Root Girl. Good to see you. Good to see you, Dara David. Folks, what are you having for lunch at your end? That is what we want to know. What are you guys having for lunch at your end? You know, I've ordered lunch from one of my favorite places, The Palette. Now, this is a little caravan in Monrepo. As soon as you get off of the highway on Monrepo, there's a caravan there called Deep Palette. Well, the biggest of the caravans that are out there, because that area is slowly evolving into quite an economic space. Quite an economic space. The large of the caravan is called Deep Palette. Deep Palette, they got some fantastic lunch out there, folks. Lunches out there. and I often stop by to and fro to sample the menu, and I've ordered lunch from them. It hasn't come as yet, believe it or not. So in the meantime, I'm having some bananas, and I am having some tangerine. We're in the tropics, folks. I love my fruits. But folks, if you guys want to sample the lunch out there as well, if you want to buy the lunch out there, you want to buy, it's reasonably priced. You got a decent, I think, a gourmet meal for $1,000 Ghana, for as little as $1,000 Ghana. It could go a little beyond that if you want the extras, but a decent gourmet Guyana meal. The folks there could cook at the Pali. The number there is 649 rather, 649 5052. Tell them I tell you, call them. You might even get a little discount. 649 5052 is the number there, and I'm certain they're going to give you all the hookup. 649 5052, that is the number for the pallet. If you guys haven't decided on lunch as yet, that is a good place to try. And that's one of the reasons why, we decided we're going to have a podcast during lunch. You ain't got nothing to see. You could just drive and listen. You could enjoy your lunch and listen. Put in your headphones in the back office. You want them ministries in GT and listening to the podcast. You don't have to see anybody. You're going to just listening to what's happening. Folks, as I said, we have coming up the one and only entrepreneur and influencer, Odessa Primus, is going to be joining the discussion. And the Shadow Minister for Finance, the one and only Director of Finance, Member of Parliament, John Rebel, she's going to be joining us as well in very, very short order. What happened in at Guy Oil? The folks at Guy Oil have reached out to me. Some of the staff reached out to us below the belt, because that's how they say the government hitting them right now, below the belt, things tight. And they're telling us that they're not likely to get bonus this Christmas. They are not likely to get bonus this Christmas. We spoke with quite a few of them, but one in particular, what she said to us resonated with us, Odessa and Dorita. This staff said to us, this is not Guy Oil like before, and I'm quoting here. This is not Guy Oil like before. On the Granger, everything was up and nice. Quote unquote. This is not Guy Oil like before. On the Granger, everything was up and nice. Because they're very concerned that even though the bonus is very small, it's a meager 7%, they are not going to enjoy even that. Even that. They're not going to enjoy this 7%. And we said last night on our affiliate program, In the Ring, we made mention that the porters and super cleaners at West Demerara Hospital, they're very concerned as well. The West Demerara Regional Hospital, because they are intimating to us, they're telling us that they're not going to be paid until 2021. How people supposed to enjoy a Christmas? Yeah? Jagabats, trenchies. How people supposed to enjoy a Christmas? We know things tight, but oh God, how you can pay people till February of next year? These guys promised to pay sugar workers. They say they will be paying sugar workers at the end of February, but the sugar workers don't get the 250,000, and the little pittance they got for the super cleaners. And I would rather hazard this is not strictly West Demerara Regional Hospital. Those are the folks who would have reached out to us, these super cleaners and the porters there. But I am rather suspecting there are other categories of workers, including other super cleaners and porters in other hospitals too. Oh, y'all got a heart. PPP got a heart. Yeah? But this is what we have become. We have become a welfare state, government by Hampers. And we have told you on this program before, we saw a correspondence. We saw a correspondence where the Secretary of Finance, under the Ministry of Finance, Pasha, issued directives to the ministries. No Christmas party, no social. But they've instructed the agencies where funds are available that they should give workers a $7,000 hampers. A $7,000 hamper. And folks, the hamper, right? You can't get it in a voucher. You got to get it in a hamper. And they're stipulating what the hamper must look like. The hamper leaves much to be desired. We're going to go through some of the things in the hamper. We're going to go through some of them, right? Because we want you guys to know and understand what is happening here under this cabal. We want you all to know what's happening here under this regime, George Annan and Marvina Thomas, Suk Chan Sud, Harry, Donna Liverpool, Marsha Glasgow, Oren Doncook. We want you guys to know. Share the live stream, folks. And we want to see those emojis as well as we welcome the Shadow Finance Minister, Director of Finance, Member of Parliament, the Honorable, and entrepreneur and influencer, Odessa Primus. Folks, welcome to Below the Belt.
Good day, Sharon. Good day to all your viewers. Thank you. Thank you for having us here today again. I look forward to these discussions.
Fantastic.
Good day, Sherrod, and the listeners. I'm very excited about today's show, by the way.
You sung so, both of you.
Yes, I will be right there below the belt, not to worry.
You know, folks, I am looking at the photographs here up on the graphic for the program, and you ladies, y'all look like things tight in this country. Y'all give people the wrong impression if y'all keep looking so good. Y'all, y'all give people the wrong impression when people see y'all well made up and the fancy hair and the makeup and the clothing and so on. Y'all look like millions. Y'all operating in a different
Sharon,
economy.
don't give people the wrong impression. But that's a nice
We're
and
a,
natural, okay? We ain't got no makeup on them.
look at that.
Natural
Look at
beauties.
that.
I beg your pardon.
We ain't fit fast struggle. We ain't fit fast struggle flyer.
Vogue all the way. Vogue all the way. So, folks, welcome to Rita, welcome Odessa. We're talking about whether this country has become a welfare state. It's government by hampers. That is what we have become. Hampers from day one. And while that is good enough itself, that cannot be the status quo by any means. Soon as you get a problem, is a hamper in your chest. We told you folks, we saw some abused women being helped by one ministry the other day, and that's a good thing, a good thing. But how are they being helped? Hampers, half pint of rice, half pint of sweet peas, quarter pound of saltfish. Take down your chest to fix your problem. Hamper, you're not having social Christmas parties. Right? It's only public servants and having parties. Everybody else got parties. Take a hamper. Folks, option one for the hamper. Option one, 2 bottles of barefoot wine, Moscato pink. Right? Sorry, Moscato, pink Moscato, red Moscato. White Zenderfell or Zenfidel. And then there's another brand, I guess, called Sangria. Right? So you have an option of 2 bottles of wine. Take down your chest for a whole day, a whole year work. And 1 tin of Danish cookies. Y'all know Christmas is not Christmas unless you get a blue tin of cookies. Well, I think they've upped the branding for the cookies now. So it might not be a blue tin. There's Danish cookies. But Danish cookies, that is option one. So $7,000 can buy you 2 bottle barefoot wine. I don't know who's producing this wine. We have to check it up. And a tin of Danish cookies. That's option one for you, 7,000. Option two, 1 non-alcoholic wine, 6 packs of malt. I guess it's 6 bottles, right? And 6 bottles of shandy. Of course, you gotta get a Danish cookie here too, and confectionery, whatever confectionery. I mean, there might be 2 sweets for the kids. 1 non-alcoholic wine. This is why your 7,000 voucher from the government for Christmas. Take down your chest. 6 Malta or shandy. You can have both. A pack of 6 Malta or shandy, Danish cookies, right? Because that solves all your problems. And the confectionaries. Option 3. Option 3. Option 3. This sounds like the option that Jurita or Odessa might take. Agree. Listen for option 3. Avril Swan. Listen for option 3. Y'all sharing this live stream? Laverne Linkard, Lexi Boss, Nalda Grant, Kirk Heidekin, Dorian Cook. Listen for option 3. Take this. Option 3. 1 bottle non-alcoholic wine. Of course, Danish cookies is now like aspirin. A tin of Danish cookies.
Right.
A tub of butter. 1 pound, not even 1 pound, 1 kg flour. 1 kg sugar. Apple and grapes. And then you can get your choice of confectionery. I guess this could be some mints for the kids too, some dinner mints. That's option 3. I'll go it over once more. 1 non-alcoholic wine because you got a sport for Christmas, eh? one
This
non-alcoholic
option
wine.
excites me, by the way, but continue.
One tin of Danish cookies, one tub butter, 1 kg flour, 1 kg sugar, confectionery, apples and grapes. You got a whole but 16 of you members of family working with the government forget a proper a proper hamper. Option 4 now. I think this is the final option. Yes, option 4.
Mm-mm.
Then quoting kg now or pound. Potato,
This is the tricky one.
potato, onion. This is like half, pound, a quarter, pound each. Potato, onion, garlic, split peas, of course, black eyed peas. Right, you can get a mixed peas cook up for Christmas. Black eyed peas,
Correct.
chana, milk, margarine, oil, and confectionaries. This might be the mince again. So with 7,000, how much potatoes you can get? With 7,000, how much onion you can get? With 7,000, how much garlic you can get? How much split peas? How much black eyed peas? How much chana? All of for 7,000. So you could imagine the kg and the poundage you can get. Right? How much milk you can get for 7,000? One tin of a 5 pound tin of milk is about 6,000, $200 or $300 now. Milk, margarine, oil, and confectionery. So those are the options. Folks out there listening to us around the world, across social media, what option y'all choosing? One, two, three, four. Odessa, Twitter, Wayne.
Mm.
I like the sigh.
Eh,
Don't all rush at once. Don't all rush it at once.
Listen, when I saw it at first, I thought it was a joke. I did not realize it was a serious thing. Um, when somebody confirmed that yes, this is what they were given, I was most surprised. Like I couldn't understand that this is what somebody came up with. You know, the thing is because I am one of those persons who do a lot of hampers and stuff like that. First off, I thought that as a base, when you're doing a hamper, you have rice, flour, sugar, and those sorts of things be like your base things.
Mhm.
We don't see that at all. I mean, why have rice, flour, sugar, and these sort of things when you could have Danish cookies? I didn't think of that. Who knew? Um, but people usually have those sorts of things. They might put in a chow mein, you know, some sort of thing that somebody could prepare a meal with. If the idea is that people are not doing very well financially, and you would like to assist them, then I would think that you would assist them with something that will actually make sense to them. I do not know if the person who put together this hamper, or these hamper options rather, really thought this thing through. I just feel like the person who did it is a big lover of Danish cookies and confectionaries and alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages, and
It's the
so those
finance
are the
secretary
things that seem
Pasha.
to be. Yeah. They have a passion and a love for these sorts of things. So those are the things that you see reoccurring. And even the last option, the option 4, it don't sit too well with my spirit at all. Option 4 don't have no, unlike the others, it don't have any quantity. So I just kind of feel like this is a trick option. Like I could end up with a half pint of split peas, and a couple potatoes. You probably didn't even weigh the potato. You pick a big size one and a small size one, and you say, "Hey, potato." Then you skin 2 onion or more than you could want, because they don't expect that you're gonna weigh the onion when you collect it. So you get a thing of garlic, and you're good there. And so I don't that any care or consideration was put into these options. That's how I feel. This is not about spreading love, about assisting nobody, or any of those sorts of things. This is, I ain't giving y'all no party. Hey, pick one, two, three, or four, and be out. That's how I feel. That's how these samples come over to me.
Teresa?
Sharon, sadly, option three wouldn't be an option for me because you know, to be fair, you got to be real high to digest what the PP is trying to do to you right now for Christmas. So we need some real strong alcohol to actually get through even the whole 7% and 7,000. I think seven is the favorite number, when you think about it. This is a 7% increase, and now it's oh, take a $7,000 hamper. With
Mm-hmm.
a seven
Mm-hmm.
thousand dollars hamper, what could we expect to actually be in there? The $7,000 hamper by itself is an insult to the public servants of this country. When the government is asking, coming tomorrow, we're going to national budget, national assembly again with a supplementary and contingency papers for to over $26 billion. But look, there who is the PPP to care about public servants? This is the way in which they've been operating, and they continue to do it because they can. The system is set up in such a way that we can go and we can shout and we can scream and we can fight and we can do whatever. At the end of the day, they have the majority in the National Assembly and they're going to vote and they're going to prove all the nonsense that they're doing. The BS.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It is interesting.
Sherrod, if I could jump in for a minute.
Go right ahead.
I was listening to Joretta, and I'm hearing her refer to all these sevens, and it's so ironic that during the campaign it was 50, and now we're reduced to seven. So I'm really wondering what happened to the other 43. Like, what we doing?
Well, they're not going to look at it. And let's be realistic. Even with we're looking at today, for example, Shara. Today is the 15th. Today is the official pay date for public servants in this country. And today, persons would have to face the brutal reality. We've been talking about it since it was announced, but today, persons have to go out there, collect this little pittance, and just make it do amidst the increase in cost of living. When we have
Mm.
the the cost of basic food items upward of 14%. Not sure where it is now. Last report in July it was at 14%. So it's upward of that now. And we have the government literally saying when it comes to the year end, oh well, we're just gonna give you a $7,000 hamper. However, we're gonna go and we're gonna distribute. We're gonna give a second payout to the sugar workers that got their severance pay before of $250,000. The blatantness in their approach to governance, the blatant divisive corrupt manner that they govern this country is just it's unheard of. I think they've gotten from a point of bad to worse. Persons thought that they couldn't have gotten any worse, and they're sure they're like, oh, hold my beer, let me show you I can get worse than we were before. And that's what we're seeing right now, being portrayed by this administration. And I say again, they can't complain that they don't have money because they're finding money to do different things. We have a financial paper that we're looking at right now, in which they're paying out more money for security services. It increasing security services. They had to go to the contingency fund to take out money for that. The fund that was supposed to be set up specifically, Sherrod, to deal with emergency matters that are unforeseen. And when they're dishing out this money to the companies for that owns the security services, not 1 cent increase in the salaries of the security workers on the ground. Not one penny.
Mm-hmm.
And yet they want to come and talk to us about care and oneness and let us unify our voice. I can't unify my voice when I'm struggling to study while feeding my children in the morning, midday, and afternoon when people living lavish. No, that's not the way in which we unify voices in this country. It is unforgivable. I think this particular Christmas and what the PPP did to public servants, I think it's unforgivable. I think public servants need not ever forget what they're going through right now. And the money that they're giving is taxable to add insult to injury. And this is what we see that they said they had $10 billion put aside to cushion, well, not to cushion anything. They said they had $10 billion put aside, and the vice president said so, to put forward towards the increase in salaries. Then they went and they increased by the 7%. It didn't even reach half of that. It didn't even touch $5 billion. But the rest gone, right, Sharon?
Mm-hmm.
But they've been
Mm-hmm.
operating with a level that of no scrutiny, and they continue to do that. We're going to go to the National Assembly. We're going to be asking them why this, why that, and it's like a joke. Some of them don't even prepare. The Mr. Charles Ramson, in my educated opinion, does not prepare for anything that he says in the National Assembly. He just gets up and blurt out the most incompetent nonsense. When he's asked question, he just try to feel himself around for words, and that's what he always does, and says absolutely nothing at all. They disrespect the process, and in turn, I believe the people of this country should see it as a direct act of disrespect to them as taxpayers of this country. Go, you spend the taxpayers' money, and then you have no morals, so that you could come to the National Assembly basically say, "Oh, we not tell you how we do that. We just do what we want because we name PPP. We is the government. That's how we do it. Y'all try it with them." That's what we're seeing going on right now.
You know, the question can be asked whether there's a certain laziness on the part of this installed regime not to come up with deep policies that can really affect meaningful change in the lives of people, but that these monies and hampers are not going back to party hacks and the cabal to benefit them as against the people, because it seems that is almost the default position that once there's a problem, hamper in your skin, right? So there's hamper for public service because you can't hold socials and Christmas parties. Hamper for them. I spoke to you guys about
But
the
I'm not.
abused women too. You know, these women have suffered at the hands of their spouses or whoever, would have abused them. Unacceptable in and of itself.
Mm,
And then, as against some meaningful program, hampers. We saw the fishermen, the fisher folk, complained recently about the low catch because of Exxon and all the drilling and the catfish government. Hampers in your skin. It seems to be the
mm.
default policy. Hampers.
Because this, and if you go and actually do some research with other countries in which you have countries with a significant level of poverty, you would see similar methods and strategy being used. Because when the government know that they have policies in place that suppress persons to the point that persons are starving within the country, so they believe to themselves that once you just sprinkle some food on them, person will be groveling for it because they're literally starving. Fathers, mothers looking at their children every day and cannot provide a healthy meal for them. In some cases, cannot even provide a meal for them. And when you have people in that state of poverty, when you go out and you give them a hamper, they would line up to get it because they need it. And then they say, "Oh, look, we're gonna take some pictures." And PP, let me tell you what they're gonna do. I have no apologies for what I'm saying. When they go to certain areas and they give out these hampers, and so they're gonna say, "Oh, look, this is a black person. That's a black person. You come. We take some photos." And then they're gonna put that up as a cover
Mm-hmm.
photo for the article that they're doing, and that is the nasty politics that the PP practices, and they will not stop this. They will continue because I see it getting worse, and I am very, it gets me so angry to see that as Guyanese, 2021, we're almost into 2022, and we're yet to see any resemblance of change coming from these people. They don't care.
Point taken. The folks who.
What it is, Sherrod,
Great ahead,
what
Odessa.
it is a control mechanism. Because if I give you just enough to survive and have you dependent or need to come back to me every time, it therefore means the state becomes a dependent. They're unable to survive without the government because how else will they eat and so forth. So it's not about ensuring that people are empowered, but ensuring that people have enough to survive today to come back to you again tomorrow. Which gives you the hand of control. That's what it is. At all times, even the vouchers, you can't go and change your cash your vouchers in wherever you would like. You have to go to specific places, to friends and family and so on, of the government. What if I want to spend my money at Andrew's supermarket in South there? I don't have that option. I have to go to somebody auntie place. But that is not where I want to go. That's not where I'm comfortable. That's not where I go. And so people should have those options. So it's kind of like you're boxed in every single thing that you do. You're boxed in terms of options and so on. Even in the options that you have, what if you wanted option two, but you wanted the grape from option three?
Mm-hmm.
We
Mm-hmm.
don't have that. That's not an
Mm-hmm.
option. You're in every single aspect. You are boxed in. You have to go with this, and that is what it is.
Hampered in.
Um, and I kind of feel like it's a prison, sometimes people feel that prison is just being a prisoner means that you have to be behind four walls and there has to be chains and shackles and whatever else. But sometimes, you can be free but imprisoned. And that's how I feel that we have certain degrees of freedom, but for the most part we are held by the shackles, held by the hampers, held by the, you know all these things that makes us dependent and unable to function independently of them. And it's sad that in the 21st century, you still have to be a prisoner in your own land.
Well said. Well said. You know,
So that's absolutely correct, Sarah. That's just speaking there about the fact that you don't have the option to say what, because that's how they operate. And when I think into the fact that they made that decision to actually give out the $7,000 hamper instead of having these parties. Instinctively my thought would be, so why not just add the $7,000 to the public servant salary, add it to the pay slip, at the end of it, give them the
That is
option to
now
do
one of
what
the
they
options.
want.
Option one, two, three, or four.
Yeah, but that would be a logical option that would come from a caring government, and we're not speaking about a caring government. So what they're going to do in turn, and I will say this again, the $7,000 is a private sector thing again. And I want you to hear me out, Cheryl, right?
mhm. Talk
When
to
they
us.
give the $7,000, now the ministries are left to go and purchase these items to put together these hampers. And what they're going to do is they're going to go to their friends in the business community and they're going to inject that money back to them. And that is how it's going to be done. So again, even the $7,000 that they're saying that they're going to give to persons in hamper, again, it's an injection to the private sector, specific persons in the private sector that they will handpick to see what they want to do. Instead of just going forward and just give the people the money, give them it. You don't give them 7%. If you decide that you could give them 7,000 hamper, give them the money. And many of those hampers, at the end of the day, when they finish buying these items in bulk, many of the hampers wouldn't even reach $5,000 in actual value. And person's gonna go carrying home a whole lot of items, and it's gonna be distributed. You'd never know. You remember party support base need things to for the Christmas. So don't be surprised if you see similar items being distributed at their party level on the ground.
Yep. That's where we are, unfortunately. That is where we are. For the folks who are now joining us, we're talking about the welfare state. And you've heard both the Member of Parliament, Regional Finance, Shadow Minister for Finance, and entrepreneur and influencer, Odessa Primus, talk about that. That's what we have become, a welfare state, a government of hampers. Thanks for joining the podcast Below the Belt. Yours truly, Shara Duncan, is here with you guys. Good to see so many of you on the live stream, the podcast today. Michaela Webster and Penelope. Good to see you, Stephanie Pearson and Siobhan McDonald. Really great to have all of you guys. I see one. Is it Tulsiram Mohan Chetty? Good to have all of you. Whether you're a Jagabat, you're a Trenchy, or you are one of our favorites. We're happy to have each and every one of you. We believe that's how you move the country forward. You have discussions, you have a competition, and you contend with ideas, and the best ideas move the system forward. That's not what happens here in this country under these folks, under this install regime. Unfortunately, it is not what obtains Andrew Griffith and Carol Jacobs, Yusuf Hussein. We don't have to stifle our consciences, right? It's a poor management that has been unleashed, poor leadership on this nation. Management by hampers, government by hampers. And that is our discussion today, right? It seems to be whatever your ailment, medical, economic, social, spiritual, hamper your skin. Hampers you fix all, right? Fix it hamper. And we've been talking about how in lieu of Christmas parties and socials, the installed catfish regime have resorted to hampers, a $7,000 hamper. And we just want to run you through once more for those of you who would have just joined the podcast. The options that this 7,000 must buy. 7,000 Guyana dollars. How much money that is? Less than 50 US. It's about what? 35 US? About 35 US dollars, if so much. Option one, two bottles of beer root wine. Two bottles and one Danish cookie. Who imported Beirut wine? Or who produces Beirut wine locally? That'd be interesting to know. Two bottles, barefoot wine rather, barefoot. That sounds like a Guyanese product, barefoot wine. And one tin of Danish
I don't think
cookies.
it is.
Option two, one non-alcoholic wine, a pack of six Malta or one pack of six Shandy. Danish cookies, and you got your choice, I guess, of confectionery. They just got confectionery. Some dinner mints, perhaps.
Don't have no choice with that. They give you what you want.
Well, I would suggest it's dinner mints, about five dinner mints. Option three,
Mm-hmm.
again, one non-alcoholic wine, one tin Danish cookies, one tub butter, 1 kg flour, 1 kg sugar, confectionery again, and then you got apples and grapes, probably two apples and a handful of grapes. And then option four rather, you have potatoes. There's no quantity specified here. Or as I said, this is the trick option. Potatoes, onion, garlic, split peas, black-eyed, chana, milk, margarine, oil, and confectionery. And Jurita was positing an option five. Ladies, hello.
Yes.
Yep. I was about to say that it seems that all of this, someone of their cabal is going to get the contract for these items and make a lot of money. And the public servants will be no better off 2 days after they receive this hamper, if so long. But I want us to discuss the larger question. They seem to have been throwing a lot of money at the problem that is a stagnated economy. And they always come back to say, oh, this will stimulate the economy, right? This tranche of COVID cash relief, this tranche of farmers flood relief, this tranche of hampers to public servants, this is going to stimulate the economy. But you ask the average citizen, which is we, you ask the average business person, and they will tell you nothing is moving in this economy. Nothing is moving in this economy. Things tight. Ladies,
you can have a system in which you can show on paper economic growth. I mean, we touched a bit on this because in Guyana we're supposed to be seeing tremendous growth when it comes to your GDP, and because of our oil resource and so on. But when it comes to actual robustness in on the ground with actual household, no one has been able to raise their standard of living. And this is the point we need to hit home with. With all the talk that they had, with a little snippet even that their finale did, the 2 minutes little ramble that he did, at no point in time could they pinpoint that the standard of living in the average Guyanese home has been increased. And this is where it matters. That is the growth that we look forward to seeing, and that is the growth that we will never see because of the manner in which they govern the country altogether. All the policies are specifically geared at making sure that they funnel money directly or indirectly to their friends in the business community. And should I want to be very specific when we talk about the business community, a lot of times we talk about the business community and we don't differentiate a lot on it because every government needs to support the business community. Every government needs to do that in order to have your country moving forward. The PPP, however, they just don't go out there and put out policies that is going to benefit the overall business community. They handpick persons in the business community to benefit from anything while stagnating, strangling the life out of other businesses so that they cannot grow. This is the manner in which they do things in this country. So when I say that they funnel and they channel resources to the selected few persons in the business community is which is benefiting from all of their policy, we are left here with absolutely nothing. I mean, it's very painful when you go out on the street, you see people literally out there trying to make ends meet. Persons, if you go down
Catching
south or
hell.
into any region in the shopping area, persons are frustrated. Everybody is going out there completely frustrated because they have to make $1 out of 15 cents. That is what is persons are left to do today. And again, you will see some stores I don't want to name, like some malls up the East Coast, and some gonna be left with the same Christmas tree from last year, this year, and then go for the next year because people can't afford to buy these things. It's the fact of the matter.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Correct is right. And I'm looking online here, and the information seems to suggest that barefoot it's a product that is produced in California. It means that somebody gonna make a lot of money this Christmas. It's not the public servants with this hamper, because you got a lot. The public sector is the largest employer in this country. And if you're buying this product here, folks say it's not a wine, it's a Moscato. But I'm seeing here that they produce wine as well. And I guess what they're giving to public servants based on the list of the options available to us, they are giving Moscatos. They said in this barefoot brand, and we going according to what they have here. They said 2 bottles barefoot wine, and in brackets, unless they don't know wine from Moscato, if it's not one and the same, they say Moscato, pink Moscato in bracket, red Moscato, right? White
Mhm.
Zinfandel and Sangria, right? But they got 2 bottles barefoot wine. That's what they got here. So some businessman gonna make a lot of money here who import this brand.
That's how they set things up. I believe, Sherry, you went at the length when you spoke about the whole the grants. I believe that they were given to teachers when you spoke about I believe it was the photo shoot money,
Yep.
if I'm not
Yep. Yep.
mistaken.
Yep.
This is
Yep.
the way in which they do things. They make sure that even if they direct the money in that manner towards persons, then they would handpick who the money have to go to. So it's basically they go and give the people the money and done, because that is how it is.
Yep.
It's most ridiculous. Persons are fed up. There is absolutely no Guyanese at home or abroad that actually agrees with what the PP is doing right now. Some of them, a lot of them, just jump on your life and stifle the conscience, and try to justify the unjustifiable. But the contest is pricked them when they come off with a live share because when they're doing that, they have family members punishing at home, trying to make sure that they can make ends meet to feed their children. Even when they try to justify the unjustifiable things that are going on in the PPP, them themselves, some of them can't make ends meet to what they want. But some people have a mentality that they believe that they were born to be at a certain level and they should exalt a certain set of people, but that is not what we teach as a coalition. We believe that there should be equity in every single thing and everyone should have equal opportunities. And unless we see equity and equal opportunities, we will continue to fight this and speak out against it and let everybody understand that there's a better life deserving to all Guyanese. It doesn't matter where you're from,
Mm-hmm.
how you were
Mm-hmm.
born, how you were raised. And we're not seeing it. We're not seeing any pathway that this government is even attempting to create to provide such a standard for Guyanese to enjoy.
Mm-hmm. The other thing that featured very big here is that's his favorite, the Danish cookies. Of course, these cookies are from Danish. Folks, these cookies are produced in Denmark. They're produced in Denmark. So again, this is going to be a huge windfall for somebody who imports these cookies from Danish from Denmark. A huge
No,
windfall.
but Sherrod, It's sad on so many different levels. Even though as a coping mechanism, we make light of these situations. With everybody complaining about the economy being so slow and all these sorts of things, this would have been an excellent opportunity to encourage, promote, support local businesses. You have lots of young people, people who've been in business for a while, who are not doing so well because people don't have no money, they have hampers. And so to go out and to support these young people and to encourage them. And of course, if it's a government initiative, it will also be a promotion for them too, because it's going to be showcased. These are the people, these are the products, and so on. Perhaps an opportunity for us to see and hear about new things that we may not have known even exist, or businesses that we, because perhaps of their economic situation, they're unable to promote it in the way they should. Then the government, should have seized the opportunity to be able to help those young business people. Again, like in very many instances, this is a missed business opportunity. Sorry, a missed opportunity to promote a business, rather than and get some cookie from somewhere, and get some alcohol from somewhere and whatever. I noticed on if I'm not mistaken, it's somewhere on the East Coast, Buxton, or somewhere, if I'm not mistaken, that we saw a young lady feature in the papers just a couple of days ago, who's doing some sort of wine or something, I think it is.
Correct, correct,
Why not?
correct.
Why we couldn't get some wine from this young lady? Well, why we couldn't get cookies from some one of these catering companies that will do these sorts of things. It's an opportunity for us to support our own people and these sorts of things. But of course, we rather the blue tinner Danish cookies. What are you gonna do?
Yep,
No, because
yep.
of the method, their aim is not to build small businesses up. That's why I made the point earlier that when we talk about private sector and them questioning it and directing money towards, it's not to everybody in the private sector. It's a selected few.
Correct,
It's a selected few,
correct.
the friends and family. That's where they put it. When it comes to ordinary businesses, if they know that they perceive a businessman is a little friendly towards a coalition, you would not get a blind scent from them. This is the government that we're dealing with, right? Now, when it
Mhm.
comes to those items, that you're absolutely correct. As the government, you want to show support and you want to say that you are in support of the private sector, you support the small businesses and all of those things. Go out there, spend the money there, but no, you're going to import something from California and Denmark and wherever the hell else you're importing it from, because your aim is to buy these things off of the shelves of your friends and families
Yep,
who already import
yep.
it. So now you got to make sure you buy from them so that they're not left with a loss. So that is their motive at all times. And I can dare make a comparison. Now, when we were in office, I believe that even things as simple as honey was packaged for persons at one point in time and given out as a little thank you because we were supporting the local
Yeah,
industry.
yeah.
And that is the
Folks,
fact. We have so many things. It's Christmas time. People can have so many local products. We have things being produced throughout the length and breadth of this country that they could have purchased from. But the aim is not to support small businesses in this country. The aim is to give money, inject more money towards the selected few in the private sector. That's how they do things.
and that's a powerful point there that both you, Jaretha, and Odessa are making. And I just want to make the point that certain things didn't touch any of the options in terms of the hampers. Um, Potatoes aren't, we import lots of that. Onions are imported too. Garlic, split peas. Do we grow that here? Black eyed peas, China. Do we grow that here? Margarine. We produce some of this here. I saw again some grants being given, and kudos for the initiative to some women recently to start small businesses, right? Or to enhance and empower them in their small businesses. But wouldn't it have been even better, as you guys are saying, if you could have had some of what they produce, if it could have met some of the items on the list here? You spoke about the wine coming out of Buxton. This brand is GT brand. Sorry, it's GT Wines. That's the name of the brand, the GT Wines. And they sent me a bottle because we feature them in our program as well. and this brew is called Stroker's Boss. They tell me don't drink this and have to work because I end up in problems. I can talk out all my secrets. They said don't drink it and have to work. It says strong wine. But this is the brand GT Wines. They say they have a showroom in Kitty, and I think just off of the line top in Buxton. They say they have their winery there, GT Wine. Again, this could have been a really marked um, way to empower not only GT Wines, there is also Pandama Wines produced locally. I love me some Pandama Wines as well. But to really empower, you talk local content, but you're acting local content. What a shame. You know, I am
Right, but
grateful.
then you feature all these people. If I can cut you short, right, and
Hmm.
I will. Um, you
Go right
feature
ahead.
all these people in the Guyana Chronicle, which
Chronicle.
is a government operated newspaper. So you feature all these people and all the great things that they're doing, which is good. It's important to promote that to promote people and what they're doing and so on. But more important is to support them as well. So you have these people featured. Oh, for crying out loud! Wouldn't the next step be if you have an opportunity, you have an event that these people and their things are promoted? You promote the farming, the thing. We see now you got the event. We ordering stuff from the farmers. We're thinking and so that we can see that the services provided are being utilized, and if you look at these hampers, it's just a sad reminder of us not supporting local because outside of the Malta and Chandy, I don't see anything on the list that is likely to
Yeah.
be local. Probably the sugar, I don't know, but
I
a
want
lot of
y'all know
these
Bora
things
make the
here,
list.
they're really important.
Bora and Allion kind of same price. Bora make the list.
There's the whole
bread
10,000
bread
man.
make the list.
Sorry.
Bread price gone up. Bread make the list. Say bread make no option. You know?
Oh, that's Sharon. Oh, that's making a,
Bread
a
and make
very
no
strong
option.
point.
Want the flour? You ain't even get little flour for make some bake. What's that the flour that it make the list? No. Oh yes, one got flour number three.
one kg flour. So you're making a lot of mix.
Hmm.
Oh,
One
that's
kg
making
flour.
a very good point because the government has perfected the art of saying the right thing and doing the wrong thing. So repeated times they go out there and they say what they know should be said. So they go out there and they put it an article, they take out some pictures and they post and they say, well, look, this nice small business is here and we're a government that supports small business. And an article goes into the paper and people say, look, the government is doing great. This supports small business. But when it's time to put your money where your mouth is, they go and they channel those money to the friends and family. And
Hmm.
small businesses now that they say they so care about doesn't see a cent of that money. And this is the fact. We need to learn, we need to be smart as a people, and we need to dissect the facts from the fiction. And in more cases than ever, the PVB brings all the fiction, and when you do look at the facts, it is contrasted to what they go out there and they preach. And this is the fact that is before us right now. We need not just forget that these people are saying that they support. How many meetings have we been seeing in the newspaper? They're meeting with the small business, these small business representative, and they're taking out pictures with these individuals that are promoting small businesses. But when it's time for them to actually buy things from the small businesses, they ain't doing that because those persons are not fitting themselves into their political agenda, so they're not going to support them. And this is the fact that we're looking at.
Well said. I see one of our viewers, one of our listeners, Myrtleen Hurst. Myrtleen says, buy food for your family and stay out of stores with the vinyl and the new fridge and new stove and fancy blinds to impress the neighbors. Painting people house that does not belong to you. Fancy decoration and shopping at gift at these fancy stores and so forth. It's a point that has to be made because they have told us, Catfish said, brace yourselves. And then the Georgetown Chambers of Commerce told us that, shortages coming. So, for me and my family, we have decided we don't care what happening. We going into the new year with some money in our pocket, some money saved. We don't care who's selling what. You understand me? We tightening, we belt. in our family because we punishing in the new year, right? So we can buy less
Amen.
and save more. I can't tell you what to do for your family. You got to decide that. But we have decided what we're doing in our family. We tightening we belt and bracing ourselves because we know what the new year hold. We don't even know what tomorrow hold under these jagabats. Much more the new year.
I agree. In fact, I have a very similar thing here. I mean, both of my children, they're entitled to one gift this year, but but in terms of this and that, ain't nobody got time. I am about how I'm able to survive next year, and so I say my neighbors. I couldn't care less what my neighbor think about how I behave. Um, and so sometimes we get carried away trying to impress the world, and then well needing the Danish cookie and the you would have spent all that you and we
Druti, jump in
really
if you can. Right ahead of that, sir.
stuff because as Guyanese, especially during this time, we get carried away because of what we're accustomed to. But what we are in is a pandemic, and so that in itself is a situation that we're not accustomed to. And so we have to be wise in our doings and spendings.
Yep, yep,
we
yep.
we definitely Sharon, we definitely be need to be wise. The reports that are coming out and the expert opinion is that things are only going to get worse. Let's face that fact. And in so doing, moving forward into January, the public servants of this country, I can speak directly to the public servants right now. Um, the increase on your salary is going to be 7%, and the taxation will be stipulated moving forward. So you don't have much room to maneuver as public servants when it comes to your your bread basket at the end of the month. And if you actually want to be able to survive and survive decently, then I would advise that persons that meager little money that you're getting, don't go too much on the artificial. Just make sure that you manage as best as you could, because it's a very tough times that are ahead of us, and we see absolutely no effort that the government will be cushioning the effect of those exorbitant increase in the price of food items and so forth for you, the public servants, that have to go out there and purchase things to survive. So let us be smart as a people in the way in which we spend money for this holiday. I know specifically, me, I literally had a conversation with my children, and I said, I think we can put off this Christmas thing to the other year, because at the rate in which things are going, I don't know the situation that we're going to be in January, February, and I cannot afford to make a mistake at this point in time and look back and say, well, I regret spending this money, or I regret doing that. So to be safe, I'm going to move forward very, very cautiously, and I advise persons to do the same. Let us not get besides ourselves and just go out there and spend the money that we don't actually have. A lot of persons, I must say, that cannot even have this conversation, because today is the 15th. They're going out there to collect their salaries, and a lot of those persons, I'm a very realistic person, Sharon. A lot of those persons, as the money come in their hand, they gotta hand it over. Bills, 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 bills. So a lot of persons are not even fortunate to have a conversation if they're going to spend this and spend that, because all of the money that they have was already spent. So they're looking to see if they have a family overseas to send some remittances in, and so on and so forth, because that's the position the government put us in, that we have to depend on persons to survive, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody
Mm-hmm.
needs to depend on external finances just to make ends meet. People ain't talking about living lavishly. People just want to survive. They just want to have a life that is decent. But right now, the rate in which things are going, that is not something that is afforded to the ordinary Guyanese by the PPP administration.
Yep. And you know, we have some of our listeners like Progress Prasad who says spend wisely. Marsha Glasgow says, I ain't spending no money. I saving all my money. I will use what I have. That is what Marsha is saying. And there are so many persons sharing that view that they are conserving their finances. They're not going lavish. If they got to spend anything at all, they are going to save their money and see what the new year holds. Folks, you have nobody to blame but yourself. I there with Progress Prasad. Spend wisely. Final thoughts, ladies, as we watch the program time.
Sir, you know when you have two guests on this program, you just got call.
Right ahead. Rita or Odessa, just jump in there.
I'm sorry, Sharon. I think I got disconnected for a little bit. Are you hearing me now, sir?
Yes, loud and clear. Go right
I
ahead.
got disconnected.
Yeah,
Apologies.
Our internet service isn't as strong as it should be in some parts of this country.
That's another
Nevertheless,
story. Go right ahead.
are you hearing me now?
Yes, I'm hearing you. Go right ahead.
Thank God. My God. Let me just wrap this up really quickly. Okay, I'd like to say again you're talking about your topic today. You focus a lot on the hamper that public servants will be collecting. I would like to say that we understand the hurt and the pain that persons have to go through this year. And I would like to advise persons, your mental health is very, very important at this time when the government is doing things to put additional pressures on the men and women that have families to feed in the homes out there. And you need to just sometimes we need to be very strong individuals because we are left with no other choice but to be strong. I think the government has tested the heads of families in this country right now at as it relates to Christmas because a lot of persons wouldn't be able to buy toys for their kids and all of that. But I want to encourage those persons that and tell them that a brighter day will come.
Fantastic, fantastic. Oswald Smith, before Odessa Primus comes in, before Odessa comes in, Oswald Smith says, fancy decorations don't mean anything. Those are just vain and material things. Once you got health and strength and your family, that is what makes a good Christmas. Fantastic point. Fantastic point, Oswald. Odessa?
yes, I'm here. Sorry, the internet is just going and me. I don't know what's happening all of a sudden.
Go right ahead. Final
Right.
thoughts.
Well, Sherrod, again, thank you very much for inviting me to the show today. I think that this has been an interesting discussion. My problem or my issue is not with distribution of hampers because I too distribute hampers. I will be distributing next week Tuesday as well. But the thing is, as a government, um, you have the power to put systems in place to empower people, to give them the ability to be able to generate their own income, to create opportunities for less taxation in certain areas and all these sorts of things, and to make starting up small businesses and so on a lot easier in terms of financial aid and all these sorts of things. And instead of focusing on those, your focus is not on increasing public servants' salary, but on giving them $7,000 in what you call $7,000 option of hampers. That can't work, and it's not the way out. And my position is, um, it's not going right, and this is an opportunity to sit down and examine. This is the end of the year, all that the government has done, and this is to the government, by the way. Examine what was done, what you did, how it worked, because a lot of these things did not work. And it's okay to say you did not get it right, but it's not okay to continue to get it wrong. So fix it. Whatever
Mhm.
needs to be fixed, fix it. Because we cannot move forward as a country that is dependent on a government for our mere survival. It cannot work. So that in itself needs to be reworked so that next year, hopefully, we have a government that um, makes decisions in terms of the economics of our people to move us forward. Though I'm fed up of all these fancy campaigns and the we care billboards and all these things. Sure, when you care, I will know. You will not have to tell me. And I believe that is what I would like to leave with our listeners today. I wish them all the best for the season. Again, I would encourage people to be wise in their spending, to be wise in their to be careful in their socializing as well during this season to ensure that you remember at all times that we are still in a pandemic
Yeah.
and that you have to protect yourselves and family. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. I endorse all that was said there. All of it. All of it. Shadow Minister for Finance, it was a privilege having you, Director of Finance, Member of Parliament, the Honorable, entrepreneur and influencer, Odessa Primus, it was a privilege having you below the belt as well. Folks, you guys make the program so special. Thanks for dropping by today, below the belt.
Thank you, Sharon, and thank you to all your viewers, your listeners today. They're always a very, very good audience.
Fantastic. And we are going to let Shalon Kingston in the diaspora, we're going to let her thoughts be our final comments on this matter for the afternoon. We're going to let her thoughts be the final thoughts on this matter for the afternoon. Shalon Kingston says, price is crazy here in America. Price is crazy here in America. And we're not spending on Christmas stuff. Stop spending your money on PPP business supporters. Support small businesses and vendors. Price crazy here in America. And we're not spending on Christmas stuff. Stop spending your money on PPP businesses, business supporters. Support small businesses and vendors. And that's the last word, folks. That's the last word. We want to thank each and every one of you for joining the podcast. Folks, come on board and partner with us. If you're going to send a hamper, send the Below the Belt podcast a hamper for Christmas, guys. We are an affiliate of the In the Ring broadcast, and so we are available at all of the platforms that they are available at. Those of you who are using the Cash App, it's a dollar sign in the ring 592. Share the live stream before you go as well. Those of you who are using PayPal, it's in the ring 592 at gmail.com. Those of you who are using the MMG, that's the Guyana Cash App, the Guyanese Cash App, it's 6276963. That's our number there. 6276963. That's our number there. And those of you who like Western Union, somebody told us just this morning, I old school. I old school. Where we can be had at Western Union too. We don't have any problems with that. And via MoneyGram as well. Support our program so that we can bring you more broadcasts of this nature, more broadcasts like In the Ring. We're going to see you back at 8 this evening for In the Ring. Folks, share the broadcast before you go. Good to see Yonet Elias on the broadcast. Please share it before you go. Orwin Don Cook, we see you as well. Share the broadcast before you go. Sheena Hazel, we see you. Sheena, we see you. Thanks for coming by Below the Belt today. GT Rudyal, we see you as well. Share the live stream for us. Rowena Cummins, we see you too. Carol Jonas, Marsha Glasgow, thanks for joining the podcast today, for making it special. You guys make the difference. You, our viewers, you, our listeners, you make the difference on our programs. Thanks for joining us. Donna McCrae, good to see you as well. Good to see you as well. And somebody trying to get through to us. We can't take the call, unfortunately. So we're gonna have them just after the program. I'm gonna call back that special individual. But good to have each and every one of you guys. Looking forward for your company, Bull Page, and all the rest of you. Looking forward for your company In the Ring tonight. Share the live stream before you go. Hundreds of persons still watching, still listening to the podcast, and we are privileged, as always, to have each and every one of you. Share the podcast before you go, and we're going to see you back this evening at 8 p.m. Well, it's evening, still got to be p.m., but we're going to see you back this evening, guys. Great to have you. Thanks for joining the broadcast. Talk with you soon. Thanks for joining us.